Morning, everyone. This week I want to talk about workplace environment. This is kind of a little different than some of the topics that we normally talk about. I just need to bring up what happened yesterday at my internship. So where I work, it's a building filled with women. There are no men. So it's all women, and sometimes emotions and tensions can get really, really high, and that can kind of cause for conflict between staff members also and residents. So yesterday I was able to be a part of what they have once a month called a house meeting, where you have staff members, you have residents. It's snowing here. I'm sorry, the plow truck just went by. It was really loud. So you have staff members, you have residents, all in a group meeting discussing different topics. If there's an issue within the house that needs to be addressed. Yesterday's topic happened to be all of the women that are currently there right now, except for one, are all completing the end of phase 1. So they're all nearing their 60 days of being in the treatment center and being sober. So they're going to start completing their phase 2 program, where they have to come up with an assignment, a relapse prevention plan, where they can move on to phase 2, and they have to present this to the group. And this is where they can receive like 2-hour passes a week. Those increase. This is where they can start looking for jobs, all of that type of stuff. So we had that meeting yesterday, though. So all of the residents were in attendance, as well as certain members of the staff that were there during the day. And there was a lot of positive feedback. And the only reason I'm bringing this up this week is because I honestly have never really been a part of an organization that is not just there for a paycheck. And that was actually brought up by one of the residents yesterday, where they feel that staff is extremely compassionate, empathetic, has their back at all times, is willing to help them, not do things for them, but guide them, show them how to do things. They were very, very appreciative. And one of the residents was like, it's wonderful to have you be a part of this with us and created this home for us, because nobody ever would give us a chance. These are women that have suffered some severe trauma in the past and are now learning how it is to trust somebody again, how it is to ask for help. So yesterday's meeting was just such a positive, uplifting thing to be a part of, whereas I've worked in environments before, and actually at my last field placement, where there was so much conflict and tension that it affected how the work was done. It affected the treatment of the individuals that we were caring for, and they picked up on it. And, some were even so bold as to say, hey, I don't know what's going on with you guys, but you're here to help me. I don't need to listen to what's going on in your office. So yesterday was a huge wake-up call for me. I think and a lot of it has to do with communication. I think communication is very key when working with anyone. There is so much going on within this home, and there are so many of these residents that have multiple needs, multiple appointments, court cases, have to check in with probation, MAT. They have their prenatal appointments, that type of thing. So there is so much interdisciplinary teamwork going on, and everybody is on the same page, which is absolutely wonderful. And this is one of those environments, and the people that I'm a part of right now are, if somebody has an issue, they're kind of like, hey, can we just sit down and talk for a few minutes? I want to kind of hash something out with you, and let's see where we can go from there. And that has, to me, that has created such a positive work environment. Everybody that walks through that door has a smile on their face. There's nobody that, oh, I don't want to be here today, I hate my job type of thing. They're all there for one thing and one thing only, and that is for the help, the sobriety of these residents, and to help them get their children back. And they are fighting tooth and nail right alongside them, and they are such huge advocates for their residents and for their clients, and not only for the ones that are in the home, but for the ones that we're managing outside of the home as well. because they have an extensive waiting list and they are actively managing that wait list. So those that can't get into the home, they are case managing those individuals to either get them into another facility, have them coming in for outpatient therapy. If they don't have a ride to their appointment, we're doing it, or, a recovery staff person is doing it, so that they're not slipping through the cracks. So when there is an opening, we can get them in as soon as possible. And that is not anything that I've ever been a part of. It's kind of, I work in the nursing field, and it's so completely different. I think there's so many people that are so jaded and burnt out and so tired of seeing the same thing over and over again, but not understanding. And I'm referring to this in a substance abuse manner. We have an emergency room staff at my hospital that is just not compassionate at all when it comes to these individuals. And, you would think, having them work in the healthcare field, that they would understand that this is a disease and it needs to be treated. And I get the burnout. I completely understand it, because I have frequent flyers that come up to my floor that are my patients, and I'm like, you're here again? What's going on? And the work that I'm doing now with these women is carrying over to my full-time job. And, I'm consulting care management more often than I have. I'm leaving messages, because I work the night shift, and saying, this particular person is looking for a bed. I happen to know that such and such is open. Like a couple of different rehab centers, they need to be detoxed and whatever, which is good. And I've been approached by my boss at work that is like, thank you so much for that. There's a lot of resources that we don't know about and whatnot. So that's been an added bonus for me. But so the point of this video is basically just the positive environment is just, I think, so conducive to the healing of these women that, it's amazing for me to be a part of. And I just kind of wanted to discuss how your attitude, your communication, all of that stuff plays into the people that you're taking care of. Because if you're only in it for the paycheck, they know. And that was very evident yesterday when it was brought up by several of the residents that, we can tell that you want to be here, that you want to help us. It's very important, I think, to enjoy what you do. And if you don't, people can see it, and it reflects, and it changes the way things go. I don't really have any questions for you. I just want to know if, how you feel about that. If you think that communication and your attitude and how you feel about your job is conducive to the treatment of your clients, I guess. I hope you're all having a good week. I went 2 minutes over. I'm sorry. Have a good day.